Coming up in today's video, Star Wars meets XCOM, Total War meets Indie, and another Frostpunk game. Already, hey everyone, I'm Marco, and in today's video I'll be covering everything strategy, management, and simulation game related. From reviews, news, and previews for upcoming games, demos, and more, there's something here for everyone. From city builders to grand strategy, turn-based tactics to hotel management, and even some real-time strategy to keep those neurons firing. I also suggest that you subscribe so you don't miss out on anything related to strategy and sim games, but on with the video. Now, I'm gonna be honest, April was a bit of a rough month for strategy and management games, but hey, we roll with the punches. Coming up, I'll be covering some of the top titles that came out this month, starting with Commandos Origins, which brought this wave of nostalgia over the older strategy gamers out there. Set before the original trilogy, this 20 or so hour prequel brings the OG Green Beret and crew back for some slow burn World War II sabotage. In the game, you can expect to meticulously manage overlapping vision cones and pray your squad doesn't blow their cover. It's a tad clunky and it's a little bit rigid, but it does deliver some deep satisfaction for stealth game lovers as each map unfolds like a fortified puzzle, solvable through careful planning and well-aimed knife throws. So if you want to relive the good old days of sneaking around, try it out today or maybe just wait for a sale, but it is still a lot of fun. And next, it seems that the one and only movie studio management game, The Movies, has cursed all future titles that seem to follow its legacy, as Hollywood Animal was another game that had a rocky start. It's still in early access, so players need to look away from the usual early access bugs and issues, but underneath that, this movie management game still shows a ton of promise. I mean, it is rare to find a tycoon game with this much flair in both its gameplay and look and feel. I'm guessing because it's from the devs who brought us This Is the Police, so it's got a similar vibe to that game, except here you're building your movie empire from the ground up, directing films and dealing with all the drama that came with that in the early 20th century. It's also sitting on mostly positive, but I'm feeling very positive about its future. I'm in their Discord daily and the devs are racing to drop update after update to make tons of fixes and improve the overall gameplay. And then came Chains of Freedom after that. Again, this XCOM type turn-based tactics game has its issues, but you can still have a lot of fun with it. This dark and gritty game with its 80s style action film storyline has you taking down tons of weird and terrifying monsters where you're just trying to find out what the hell's going on. If you're a fan of tactical strategy games with survival elements, I'd say definitely give it a look. The storyline goes hard with tons of moral ambiguity going on, trying to work your way through this post-apocalyptic environment. Again, Chains of Freedom is showing a ton of potential and hopefully they manage to clean up some of its rough edges, which hopefully it does before another similar game comes out that I'm going to be covering later in the video. You don't want to miss it. Then came out a game that is practically Roman city skylines. Pax Augusta is a city builder that again shows a ton of promise. I reviewed this game a while back and for the most part I could look past all the bugs and occasional crashes, but damn, that frame rate had me crying Caesar tears. I mean, for a game of this scale being developed by a single person, well, it's no small feat. The graphics have this realistic effect going on, but that realism extends far into the gameplay too. Honestly, I also learned a lot of history and I was playing Seven Wonders, that board game, on the weekend and I was like, hey, I know all of these Roman city buildings, and that forum really needs a calendar else they won't know what day it is. It's a lot of fun if you're into building detailed and realistic cities, and there's enough going on to keep you engaged, like traveling to other towns to search for your perfect gladiator. But damn, that performance really held me back. Hopefully more updates and fixes come soon, but maybe still check it out if you want a detailed city builder like this. And then finally, Tempest Rising came, and it gave us hope for the future of real-time strategy. I'd probably be playing it now, but my frantic clicking just isn't what it used to be. You know how it goes. But for those who grew up playing StarCraft and Command & Conquer and want their next fix, this game is it. Play counters showing thousands of players engaging in this game on the daily, where you command distinct factions in a desperate struggle for power and resources across incredibly detailed maps in both single and multiplayer. It also plays like the classic Command & Conquer, and it really gives off heavy old school RTS vibes, and you should definitely check it out if you were ever a fan of those games, as this is the new benchmark. Also go check out the channel Perofilozov, as he's bringing out some very useful tutorials that are a must watch. But that wraps up the games that came out this month, and if you were left wanting, don't worry, May is looking great for both strategy and management games alike. But if I do miss anything, let me and the people know in the comment section below. Dropping on the 8th of May, we've got Yes Your Grace 2 Snowfall, which puts you in the throne in the snowy Slavic folklore flavored kingdom of Davern, where the single-player kingdom management game makes every royal decision feel like a political booby trap. But damn, that booby trap is wrapped in heartfelt storytelling. As king, you'll be juggling taxes, grumbling petitioners, and just enough resources to disappoint everyone equally. Your agents are skilled, loyal, and occasionally a hot mess, where you can send them out to solve problems, but don't think it gets boring, as drama is always waiting around the corner. At the heart of it all is your familia. Raising your kids while your kingdom teeters on collapse isn't always relaxing, but at least these graphics can keep you easily distracted during those tough times. Every law you pass, coin you spend, or villager you snub can ripple through your rule. It's part medieval management sim, part emotional damage, and it's all about making tough choices, with just enough warmth to make the frostbite all worth it. Then on the 15th, we've got Blacksmith Master, which turns your medieval grind into a full-time business sim, putting you in charge of everything from mining ore to selling polished swords, pots, and rings to your growing customer base. Seemed interesting, but then I realized it's being published by Hooded Horse, so I sat forward in my chair. Starting out in a small forge tucked away in a quiet town, you'll oversee every step of the blacksmithing process, hiring miners, training craftsmen, upgrading equipment, and designing a workshop that's as efficient as it is charming. The gameplay balances hands-on forging with high-level management. Will you get your hands dirty at the anvil or trust your trained team of specialists? In the game, every decision will shape your path to becoming the kingdom's go-to smith. Whether you're crafting jewelry for nobles or axes for lumberjacks, optimizing your shop and staff is key. The game looks methodical, oddly satisfying, and busting with medieval flavor. So add it to your wishlist if you're looking for your next management game. Then coming out on the 19th, another game getting published by Hooded Horse. Man, those guys are on fire. This game asks, what if Slay the Spire and Age of Empires combined into a weird fever dream of pixelated madness? In Nine Kings, you start with a tiny village and an evolving deck of buildings, spells, and units, from mushroom cultists to undead battalions. And then things get weird. You can conquer rival kings, steal their cards, and mash together powers that probably shouldn't exist. I mean, I played the demo, which I think you still can, by the way, and I ended up creating this massive machine gun. It got pretty crazy. Each king brings a unique deck, but you here to break the rules. Rain fire, raise the dead, and deploy thousands of mercenaries like you just dropped your favorite ant farm. It's all about stacking chaos, and yes, strategy matters, but so does glorious excess. It's a ton of fun, and I'm really looking forward to the full release. Then coming out on the 20th of May, maybe you'll want to test out the high-stakes world of hospitality, where you get to design luxury hotels, manage needy guests, and occasionally set off the fire alarm during breakfast. In Hotel Architect, you're building hotels from scratch, or maybe salvaging old dumps and turning them into 5-star Hiltons. That means placing saunas next to your bars, because why not? Managing a staff of quirky underachievers, and managing your review score high enough that people don't flee mid-check-in. There's a campaign if you like goals, and a sandbox mode if you just want to unleash chaos. Now, I'll be honest, I've always wanted to be a hotel manager for some time, so this one looks pretty interesting, I'm not gonna lie. Then on the 22nd, we're getting a beloved mobile game that will now be on PC. Final Outpost is the survival strategy base builder, where you're not the hero, you the manager. You get to assign jobs, build shelters, and keep the last stragglers of humanity from recreating whatever is going on in The Last of Us right now. You start with basically nothing, like a stick and some wheat seeds, and then you end with sniper towers and a population just barely not rioting. There are a ton of jobs to hand out, so you can build farms, craft tools, and pray the deer don't go extinct before you figure out wheat farming. Oh, and the undead, they're not the only threat. You've got droughts, winters, and the joy of simulating suffering via seasonal disasters. And yes, I know it's not the prettiest game out there, but you know what? I enjoy giving my indie devs some love, so add it to your wish list if this tickles your fancy. And then lastly, on the 28th, we've got a roguelike deck builder, but before you roll your eyes, trust me, there's a lot more beneath the surface. In As We Descend, you're gonna be juggling scavenged tech, shifting alliances, forces and a bunch of units who all think they should be in charge. In the game, you get to recruit squads, build a killer deck, and then shove your enemies into the dirt, one carefully placed card at a time. Your base, well, this is a crumbling city full of schemers, politics, and passive-aggressive allies. Here you'll need to charm, bribe, or strong-arm your way through it while prepping for the real hell below. And that combat, well, it's not just smash it until it dies. Here you'll need to dodge, defend, and reposition your troops like it's a post-apocalyptic chessboard and you've just hit them with an en passant. Game looks interesting and definitely one to keep an eye on. And now if you're still left wanting, maybe you just want to return to your current games. Well, good news, there are a ton of updates and DLCs out now and coming soon. First up, Workers and Resources is getting a big DLC and it's about to go even more back in time. In the early start DLC, you'll be thrown into the 1930s, 40s or 50s where your city building dreams will be fueled by coal and classic clunkers. Here you must forget your fancy modern technology. This is about surviving with period specific buildings, vehicles, both Soviet and NATO, and a tech tree that actually makes sense for the era. Plus you can try your hand at building in Moscow or St. Petersburg from the get-go. So if you're tired of the same old timeline, get ready to experience a whole new level of historical city building headaches. Set to release on the 22nd of May, but I know Workers and Resources fans will not even notice it because they're just too busy playing the game. Now for some Manor Lords news. For its very first birthday, this medieval strategy sim is getting a serious upgrade. I'm just not too sure when. We're talking proper AI that actually can build and run their own little hamlets, complete with little plots and backyard extensions. We'll also be getting a records view for more detailed info about stuff like your regional production and consumption. Then there's this upkeep system coming, so your smithy will need a constant supply of tools to keep your buildings alive. Then there are new buildings coming too, like the quarry and the lime kiln. And then there's pathfinding fixes, camera system updates, river fishing. Damn, I mean, there's just so much. I'll just paste the link for you to go check out in the description. Now for something pretty cool, Synergy, that Mobius style inspired city builder, is out of early access with its full 1.0 release. After about a year, the devs have been tinkering around doing a whole bunch of bug fixes and various gameplay improvements. The 1.0 update will sprout a new campaign with 3 mysterious scenarios, plus a lot of fresh flora, buildings, and challenges tied to those pesky dry seasons. They're also teasing an exploration rework and huge quality of life improvements, but the specifics of those are still under wraps. I reviewed it last year and back then it felt a bit lifeless and I did think it needed a lot more updates, so if you're looking for a city builder that's going to calm you out, maybe it's time to give this game a go. Then with some more sci-fi news, Terra Invicta, that massive sci-fi grand strategy game, just got another major update, bringing a major UI overhaul, AI improvements, and a visual upgrade too, plus a lot of balancing fixes, and exo fighters got added in as well, which are these little small ships that can cruise around Earth. The team is aiming for a full 1.0 launch this year, and yes, I know some reviewers are saying that all these updates are making the game a lot less enjoyable, so hopefully they're listening this time around. Then fans of Age of Wonders 4 got a nice surprise with the new Giants DLC that's out now, that introduces colossal rulers with terraforming powers and ancient weaponry. You can even forge items from the start and explore new regions, including 38 decorative lands seamlessly integrated into the world. You also need to keep an eye out for roaming merchants offering gear and strategic intel. The DLC also brings the Fated Regions event system, offering story-driven quests, legendary artifacts, and unique endgame scenarios, plus new tomes, wildlife, and units. The free Ogre update delivers visual improvements, new combat maps, ancient wonder adventures, and a plethora of faction creation options. So if you're craving more of that deep fantasy 4X experience, this DLC might just be for you. Then for some more city building news, this time around with Memoriopolis, the indie strategy game that lets you construct cities across the ages, and it just dropped its full launch trailer. After a stint in early access since last August, the full game is officially launching on April 30th. The trailer teases the arrival of the 5th age, the Industrial Revolution, which is my favorite, which was previously locked away. Apparently, this final era unveils the game's hidden objective, building the ultimate collection to cement your legendary city builder status. You'll navigate 5 distinct periods, from antiquity to the Industrial Revolution, managing resources, making crucial political choices, and then dealing with dynamic factions. So maybe go check it out if you want a city builder that's just a little bit different. Now for some upcoming title updates, sales and demos, and we're going to start with one for all the military lovers out there. So in case you didn't know, Steam is having its Wargame Fest right now. Now they are bending the rules a little bit, as wargames tend to focus more on large-scale tactical battles, and most of these are just military themed. But hey, I don't really care, as these sales are incredible. So much so that I did a whole video covering some of the more hardcore ones, so maybe go check that video out if reading lengthy user manuals and playing some games on a hexagonal grid for hours on end is your cup of tea. But if you don't have time for that, maybe go check out Warno, it's on sale and it's a ton of military real-time tactics fun, or maybe Panzer Corps 2, or as I like to call it, Panzer Corps 2, for some real wargame action. But now onto some demos, so don't overlook Strategos. Announced recently, this real-time tactics total war-like game plunges you into classical antiquity, letting you command massive armies, just think thousands of men, with over 120 factions and over 250 unique units spanning nearly 1,000 years. That's a lot of years. Here you can recreate historical clashes or forge your own custom battles, managing intricate mechanics like formations, morale, terrain, flanking, and command. Plus you can position your generals wisely to issue orders, improve morale, and even join in on the fray. From Persian hoplites to Imperial Roman legions and Gaelic tribes, the ancient world is your battlefield. You can customize every detail from army composition to map and AI difficulty. History enthusiasts and strategy gamers that love Total War should definitely check out the demo if you haven't already. Now picture Total War if it met Slay the Spire, as here you've got tabletop miniatures clashing inside a cozy medieval tavern. That's basically the premise of Tabletop Tavern. While it looks a bit rough around the edges with some average units and lacking early battle variety, the solo dev project comes out with a lot of personality. You'll recognize Total War-like controls, unit archetypes, terrain, weather effects, and it's all set on that classic green mat that you've got over here. The Slay the Spire influence comes in the branching progression where you gradually build your army. Events between battles let you heal your units or recruit reinforcements, which is a neat roguelike touch. Despite needing some polish, Tabletop Tavern's unique blend of large-scale tactics and roguelike progression set in a nostalgic tabletop setting makes it definitely one to watch. And yes, the demo is available on Steam if you're interested. Now for some automation action, maybe check out Modulus. The demo of this factory automation game puts you in charge of crafting 3D building blocks or modules with complete creative freedom. Remember shapes? Yeah, it's basically that. Forget fixed recipes, you'll design and optimize sprawling production lines to fulfill orders from the mysterious grand neural network. What is cool though is that the buildings you construct are made from the very modules you produce, rising in real time as you deliver the goods. The more intricate the building, the more complex your module designs need to be. And the best part, there's no timers, there's no enemies, it's just you, your factory, and the satisfying hum of automation. I played the demo, check out the video at the top to learn more, as it honestly helped me relax and chill out and somehow got really addictive. I can't wait to play the full game, but check out the demo if you want some automation zen to play right now. And then lastly, it's time to wrap up the video with some new game announcements that came out this month. First up, we've got Every Day We Fight, that throws you into a tactical roguelike where every resistance squad relives their deaths to save humanity. Sounds pretty brutal. It's definitely giving me XCOM vibes, so I'm interested, and it's getting published by Hooded Horse. What a combo. Here you get to explore a frozen city in real time, scavenge for weapons, and then try your best with these turn-based battles against the mysterious rifters. Each loop lets you carry over skills and gear, turning your civilians into hardened vets. Then you'll need to decide whether to risk it all for side objectives or focus on breaking the loop by taking down tough alien leaders. It looks gritty, and I'm loving that direct aim combats where positioning and reflexes are going to matter a lot. I know many XCOM fans aren't going to enjoy the roguelike aspect to it, but I think it could work. Who knows? But it is coming out in early access on the 10th of July this year, so maybe add it to to your wishlist if this looks cool to you. Now, for a game no one was expecting, that brutal city builder Frostpunk is getting a complete overhaul. So it's not a true Frostpunk 3, but 11-bit Studios is rebuilding the original survival strategy game from the ground up in Unreal Engine 5, and it's being rebranded as Frostpunk 1886. This isn't just a visual upgrade though. You can expect new mechanics, laws, a fresh purpose path, and the potential for mod support and future DLC. Developed since early 2025, Frostpunk 1886 will evolve alongside Frostpunk 2, while the release window is set for 2027, which just seems so far away. You can already wishlist it on Steam. Wow, Heroes of Might and Magic like games. So hot right now. Coming up sometime soon is Stormbinders, and it's being published by Slytherin of all companies, where this is a turn-based strategy game where the chaotic magic storms reshape every battle. The magic weave is broken, and you need to choose a hero to lead your kingdom through an epic single-player campaign filled with alliances and betrayals. Stormbinders' unique randomized storm system dynamically alters weather patterns on both the global map and the battlefield, which will hopefully ensure fresh strategic challenges through each playthrough, and will maybe be the closest I'll ever get to a Brandon Sanderson game, if you know what I mean. And yeah, Songs of Conquest and Heroes of Might and Magic might be thinking the same thing, but hey, hopefully this game will still be unique to be fun to play. And then lastly, a game that I haven't been so excited for in ages, it's Star Wars Zero Company. This single player turn-based tactics game drops you into the Clone Wars with a gritty original story that's going for that Andor type of storyline where you're just trying to survive. You command Hawks and a group of Black Ops facing threats the Republic ignored. And yes, that XCOM style gameplay with its permadeath, customizable base, and the deep squad customization, I'm just all for it. And yes, that makes sense because it's coming from the devs who worked on the original XCOM games, and the story is being handled by the team that worked on the Star Wars Jedi games as well. So it's hopefully going to offer promising strategic depth as well as some compelling narrative. If you want to learn more, check out my video that I've just linked at the top, but the game is launching in 2026 on PC and console, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. And guys, that's April in a nutshell. What did you think? What did I miss out on? If you want to chat more about strategy and management games, check out my Discord group, and also a big thanks to my channel members. Maybe join if you want your name in fancy neon green like this, plus it really just helps my single-digit social status. But other than that, it's Marco here from Easily Distracted Games, and as always, don't stop gaming.